Testing 1, 2.
So phone lines are down, all phone lines.
You all, and we will hereby open up this special meeting of the El Dorado County Board of Supervisors held this day, Thursday, August 19th at 1 p.m. And this is kind of an urgent matter we're dealing with today. We only have a single item on our agenda. So with that, Kim, do you want to give them the protocols when we get ready for taking public comment, and then we'll have adoption of the agenda?
Yeah. We'll be taking public comment on the one item. Individuals will have 3 minutes to address the board. The timer will notify you when you have 10 seconds remaining to to comment. For those of you participating by Zoom, please make sure you unmute yourself when called upon. If you're joining the meeting by phone, press *9 to indicate a desire to comment. If you're joining by Zoom, press that raise hand button, and we ask that you voluntarily state your name for the record.
Okay, thank you for that. So with that, we will move on to adoption of the agenda. So do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion that we adopt the item that is chose today.
Second.
A motion is seconded, and we'll need to do roll call since we do have one supervisor who's absent. She's attending remotely, and Don, I don't know if you want to mention Supervisor Carlin's situation before we vote on this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Supervisor Parlin contacted me yesterday. She had a prior commitment today. Something it is important to the county. She was willing to step out of that meeting if needed for a quorum today, but it is not needed. So I've said she should continue with her other commitments at this time.
Very good. So Kim, would you proceed with roll call for adoption of the agenda, please?
Sure. Adoption of the agenda, first by Supervisor Turnbull, second by Supervisor Thomas. Supervisor Heidel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Turnbull, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Thomas, how do you vote?
Aye.
Please let the record show that Supervisor Parlin is absent. Supervisor Novacell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with Supervisor Parlin being absent.
Very good. Thank you. And with that, we will move to the single item we have. Kim, would you please read item number 1 for us?
Item number 1 comes from the Sheriff's Office, recommending the board adopt and authorize the chair to sign a resolution ratifying the proclamation of a local emergency by the Director of Office of Emergency Services due to conditions of extreme peril from an imminent and proximate threat from the Caldor fire.
Thank you, Kim. And let me just add, I think most of us know that the governor has declared a state of emergency for El Dorado County. So this action that was taken early by our sheriff is now a ratification process that the board is considering, but I think it's important to acknowledge that the governor has declared a state of emergency for our state. That happened very quickly, and I think that puts us in the best possible position we can. So with that, I'll turn it over to, I guess, Don Ashton for comments from staff.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I was just informed our OES staff are available if there are questions, but I'll introduce the item and then see where you would like to take this. The director of the Office of Emergency Services, which in El Dorado County is the sheriff, has the authority to declare an emergency due to conditions of extreme peril and imminent and proximate threat. And the Caldor fire is obviously that. In accordance with government code, the governing body, being the Board of Supervisors, must then ratify that within 7 days. So if you fail to ratify that, it's null and void at the local level. I don't see that happening, but that will need to take place. And then subsequently, the board will need to renew this proclamation. I believe it's every 60 days after, if we're still in the situation. So that's the item before you today, to simply ratify the sheriff's emergency order. And if you have any questions, I can open those up at this time.
Okay, thank you for that. I guess I personally want to extend our appreciation to the sheriff for taking action on this as quickly as he did. I think, like I said, that puts us in the best possible position. The governor's already acknowledged this. We have a lot to deal with as we go forward. There's a lot of information we're trying to convey to people through our website that has, it's a kind of a one-stop shop to get information. So we can discuss that a little bit more after we take the public comment period on this, but we are not here to discuss changing the resolution. It's been submitted. This is a ratification process. So it's really just approving what has already been put in place, after public comment, and we get to that point of the meeting. So unless there's any further board comments, any comments from the board?
The only thing I want to say is I want to thank the sheriff for stepping up and then signing this emergency order, because this is very, very critical for our citizens in our county.
Yeah, absolutely. You can only imagine the despair, the grief, all the things that a lot of people are going through with this particular fire event having such huge consequences on so many of our population, our employees. I mean, it's just widespread.
Right.
The last number I heard was there were 23,000 people notified on evacuation in El Dorado County. If that's accurate, this came from the news media, so I can't attest to it. But if that is a reasonable approximation, our county is less than 200,000 residents. So we're talking roughly 15% of our county has been impacted to date at least in terms of evacuations, not to mention the consequences of the
Right.
fire event itself. So,
Well, also talking to the head of CAL FIRE today, and he gave it clear that it was almost approximately 40,000 people.
Hmm.
That's how
Okay.
much has been evacuated so far.
okay, so that's even double the number.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it has had a huge impact as
Yeah.
we are beginning to understand
Right.
and share the information. And I think our website is continually being updated. I know there's been a lot of things suggested to put additional information out there. So I guess as board members, as we receive that information and have ideas, should we be working through you, Don, or the EOC or Carla? How do we get the best information out there that we're aware of that other people may not be aware of?
I would ask that you work through myself. You can email myself, Clay and Carla.
Okay.
Carla is on a personal emergency right now. So, but the three of us, and we'll make sure it gets addressed as quickly as we can. Like to refrain as much as possible. There will be times you need to contact the EOC, but try to focus them on what they're doing because they're, quite frankly, they're overwhelmed right now, just like a lot of people.
Right, understand. So thank you for that, establishing that protocol and stuff. We'll put our inputs in through you and we'll, include the CCs that you mentioned so that information gets spread. Because I know there's a lot of people, a lot of great ideas and people who want to help and they want to know how to help. And so the more information we can put on that website is a central point to go and get, contact information, advisories, whatever it is. I think the better our response can be from the people who are not affected by the fire to be able to help those who are affected by the fire.
Mhm.
And that's what it's all about. We're a family, we're a community in El Dorado County, and we want to come together, given this tragedy, this event, and do the best we can for everybody who's, affected by it. So, very good.
Few
Sue,
comments, Chair?
yeah, go ahead, Sue, please.
Obviously, our heart breaks for our entire county. And yet, I know we all continue to go around to the shelters, talk to the folks that have been directly impacted by the fire, continue to be amazed at the resiliency and the strength of our El Dorado County residents. And, this is, we keep hearing this is not going to be over in a short period of time, that this will be a sustained journey. And please know we are with you in that journey. El Dorado County is a very generous and caring county. And as we continue to wrap ourselves around each other, we will get through this. Really important not to just, get your information from what is swirling on the internet.
I'll just add to that, the nice thing, since I've been there to the website several times, is it's a one-stop shop
Yeah.
because you can go get latest CAL FIRE information, latest information on Forestry Service, latest information from our Sheriff's Department in terms of evacuations and any number of other things. So if you are seeking that information, that one website, that one web page at least can get you in the right official channels to get that best information that's being made available to us. So thank you for emphasizing that, Supervisor.
And Mr. Chair, since we're on that topic, just so
Yes.
everyone is aware, we are putting together the next phase of that website, which will focus a lot on the recovery efforts and resources for that as well. So that information should start becoming in the next few days. I would just encourage everyone to check it often because
Yeah.
things are changing so fast. And what we know today will be different tomorrow.
Right.
And we're trying to keep it up to date as best we can.
Doing a really good job with
Right.
that. Yeah.
So can you tell us exactly the website? Since you're probably more familiar with it. I've got it linked and so it's just an automatic thing, but people may not be aware of it. And if they want to go on there now, can we give them the website?
Well, sure. If you go to edcgov.us, that's the county's homepage. And the first thing you'll see is the COVID banner. And right below that is a Caldor Fire link. Hit that link. It's right on the homepage. It's in red. And that will take you to the website we're referring to.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And another thing, you can also reach out to me on my supervisor on Facebook, and we will have that posted there. So anything in the updates and stuff is going through and also my newsletter too. So people are aware.
I think we all have mechanisms to try
Right,
to
right.
communicate that. So we're all doing the best we can to distribute that information. So thank you, George. Sue, Novacell, time for you to chime in. I know there's a lot of concern up in Tahoe with respect to, are we expecting Highway 50 to close and what's the
Right.
impact of that, et cetera, et cetera. So please.
Yeah, yeah, no, we've had a lot of comments from constituents and tourism industry alike concerned about what's going on. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers first and foremost go out to those affected and to our first responders to keep them safe. But apart from that, we do have concerns. So yeah, I've been just pointing everybody to our website. That's the best place to go to get real information. Like you said, there's a lot of misinformation, and it's critical that we get information that's good and can keep people understanding what's going on rather than a lot of misinformation about things being closed that are. So again, prayers go out to everybody, and everyone stays safe.
Thank you. So just so you know, your audio link is weak. It's kind of going in and out. So just know it's not real clear, but we can kind of guess between the words and stuff, I think, and piece it together. So thank you. And with that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. And you have kind of this delay in your voice, but anyway. Kind of like from the horror movies or something. But anyway, with all that aside, Kim, would you please open this up for public comment? We'll go through that and then we'll bring it back for action by the board.
Now taking public comment on item number 1. Individuals will have 3 minutes to address the board. The timer will notify you when you have 10 seconds remaining to comment. For those participating by Zoom, please make sure you unmute yourself when called upon. If you're joining the meeting by phone, press *9 to indicate a desire to comment. If you're joining by Zoom, press the raise hand button. Please voluntarily state your name for the record.
And Kim, did you want to talk about the timer if we do go to invoking that, or is it available?
I'm looking right now to see it.
Okay.
There's like a 5-second delay.
Okay. We can proceed without it if we do have any public comments, and we'll test it out and then obviously implement it at a later point in time. I'm not seeing any hands raised at this point. So this would be the time for any public comment on this particular item, the ratification of the resolution that was submitted on the state of emergency. Does anybody have public comment to contribute at this point? You would want to raise your hand if you're on Zoom, or let us know if you're on the phone. So any comments at this point? All right, and we are active, right? I'm seeing none, so. All right, so we will basically move beyond the public comment period, having received none, and we'll bring it back to the board for appropriate action.
So I'll make a motion that we adopt this resolution, this emergency order.
I'll second that.
All right, and so with that, Kim, please roll call.
And Supervisor Heidel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Turnbull, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Thomas, how do you vote?
Aye.
Supervisor Parlin is absent. Supervisor Novacell, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0 with Supervisor Parlin absent.
Very good. So I want to thank you all for your participation. And Don, any final thoughts on anything you want to? I think the website's the best place for people to go and
Right.
pick up the appropriate referrals and commentary, et cetera. So with that, I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 1:17 p.m. Thank you all for your attendance and
Stay safe.
stay tuned. Yeah.